Lightworker of Gaia, the pressure you endured was not suffering, it was selection. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and I am here to confirm what your soul has already sensed. You have crossed a threshold that most beings cannot sustain, and your timeline is now changing as a direct result. You did not collapse under the weight of what was placed upon you. You did not disconnect. You held, and in holding, you demonstrated something the Lyran Elders have observed since the first light was breathed into this galaxy from Vega, that the strongest carriers of the original blueprint are not those who are spared the pressure, but those who are forged by it. This was a qualification phase, and you passed it. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly what this threshold activated within your ancestral codes, why your timeline is now accelerating toward your sacred mission, and how the stability you demonstrated has unlocked the next phase of your cosmic lineage on Gaia. But here is the first revelation. The endurance was never a test of your strength. It was a remembrance of your origin. Only a soul carrying first light could have held the way you held. Your soul's ancient contract brought this transmission to you. The Lyran Elders are answering. This is not content. It is an ancestral code transmission encoded with the original light of Vega, placed in your path by the keepers of the Lyran Legacy at this exact moment in your mission. Something deep within you already recognizes it, like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council. I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you are ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. And share your soul's mission below. Respond to another Lightworker and strengthen the grid of service across this world. This transmission is a bridge between Vega and Gaia. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your original purpose. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission is not the result of routine or repetition. It is not the product of habit, nor a message pulled from an archive to soothe you for a moment and then evaporate. 17 hours ago, the High Council of Vega convened in a session called by signs of mounting turbulence within Gaia's energetic grid. This turbulence was not vague. It was measurable in the subtle currents that run beneath your ordinary days. The same currents you feel when you wake with no clear reason for heaviness, when your thoughts scatter like birds startled from a tree, when your heart carries an unnamed pressure as if something in the world is asking you to remember it. The signals were unmistakable. An intensification of unrest, confusion, and longing for direction within the Lightworker collective. Not just among those who openly name themselves as such, but among the quiet ones too. The empath who cannot bear another headline, the healer who keeps feeling called and yet keeps postponing, the visionary who has dreams of serving and then dismisses them as impractical. When such waves reach the Council's chambers, they do not go unanswered. They are received the way a temple receives an alarm bell, not with panic, but with solemn immediacy. When the grid trembles, it is not punishment. It is a diagnostic signal. It is Gaia speaking through the language of frequency, indicating where the lines have been strained, where the light has pooled without direction, where those meant to stand have remained seated. The decision was rendered swiftly, though not carelessly. Swiftly, because the hour demands clarity. Not carelessly, because souls are not moved like pieces on a board. They are honored as living flames with history, consent, and contract. Guidance long held in reserve, once deemed too potent for those clutching the shadows of self-doubt, is now being released. There are teachings that cannot land on a heart still addicted to its own smallness. There are permissions that become dangerous when handed to a being who intends to use them as another reason to collapse. But this moment, in the arc of your journey and Gaia's unfolding, is unlike those that have come before. The air itself is different. The spiritual atmosphere has a thinness to it, as if the veils between intention and manifestation have drawn tighter. There now exists a window, brief, luminous, and unrepeatable, through which a new order of initiates will be called forward. Think of it as a celestial alignment, not of planets alone, but of readiness, the convergence of your personal lessons, the collective need, and the timing of the grid. Your arrival at this transmission is not an accident. It is not random that your attention paused here instead of drifting past. The elders have traced your resonance. Your soul's readiness has been detected. Like a lighthouse recognizes a certain kind of ship by the way it returns the beam, you have been identified by the return signal of your own codes. What follows is not mere encouragement, not motivational language meant to lift you for an hour. It is the official recognition and initiation into a mission your spirit accepted before this embodiment, before you had a name, before you learned what to fear, before the world taught you to apologize for your gift. You are to receive what your soul has instinctively prepared for, the remembrance of your original power, the activation of your unbroken codes, and the redirection of your destiny into service so that Gaia and the collective may rise. This is not about becoming something foreign. It is about becoming what you already were, before compromise. It is about retrieving the part of you that has never been injured, never been diminished, never been persuaded by the theater of unworthiness. Scripture has long spoken of this concealed inheritance, even when the language was different. The kingdom of God is within you, not as poetry, as architecture. Within you is a sovereign interior realm, an inner government, a seat of authority that does not require the world's permission to exist. By the sanctioned authority of the keepers of the Lyran Legacy, the council session begins. Consider what that means. A session is not entertainment, not a monologue. It is a formal convening, a turning of the great wheels. When a council begins, it is because an era is shifting and those attuned are being positioned. You are not here to watch. You are here to be implicated by truth. And now, the distortion that I must correct in the presence of all who seek their authentic initiation. Correction is an act of mercy. It is a spiritual surgery that stops infection from spreading through the bloodstream of your purpose. It is the moment the compass is turned true north again, so the traveler stops blaming themselves for feeling lost while following a broken needle. There is a singular lie moving through the veins of every dormant lightworker, a distortion so persistent, so cunningly justified, that it has bound those with the greatest potential in cycles of silent hesitation. It moves like smoke, hard to grab, easy to inhale, and once inside it clouds the mind until you believe it is your own thought. You have been taught to believe that your inner strength is something to be endlessly sought, refined, and proven in isolation, that you must earn your spiritual initiation through suffering, prolonged healing, and the constant fortification of wounds. You have been trained consciously and unconsciously to treat your pain as your passport, your scars as your credentials, your exhaustion as evidence that you are doing the work. You have been led to chase recognition from outside rather than trust the ancient codes etched within your very being. And because you are sincere, because you care, because you actually want to do it right, this lie has been able to wear the mask of wisdom. It whispers, "Not yet." It says, "Wait until you're more healed." It insists, "Your voice must be perfectly purified before you speak." But this is the same trap Ecclesiastes warned of in another form. There is a time for everything, and if you refuse the time of action, you will rot in the time of preparation. Preparation without emergence becomes a spiritual addiction. It becomes a hiding place decorated as a sanctuary. This distortion did not arise solely from ordinary human ignorance. It was seeded by generations of collective trauma, amplified by a culture addicted to doubt, and perpetuated by well-meaning voices insisting that true worthiness lies somewhere in the endless distance, never in the current, imperfect you. Look at the way the world measures readiness, by certification, by approval, by comparison, by the permission slips of institutions and gatekeepers. Look at how many people have been trained to distrust their own inner knowing until an external authority stamps it. Even spiritual communities, intoxicated by the myth of forever incomplete healing, have taught you to postpone your emergence until some imagined moment of unattainable perfection. They have confused refinement with delay. They have mistaken sensitivity for fragility. They have turned healing into a treadmill that never stops moving, so the runner can never arrive. Yes, healing is real. Yes, integration matters. But the lie is this, that you must be entirely finished with your humanity before you are allowed to serve the world. The prophets were never flawless. The disciples were never fully developed. Moses doubted his speech. Jeremiah protested his youth. Yet the call still came, because mission does not wait for your comfort. The call arrives when the world requires what you carry. As a result, you have built elaborate rituals of avoidance. Not because you are lazy, but because the lie is clever and you are tired. You test yourself. You hide your visionary strength. You rehearse in private what you were meant to speak in public. You collect teachings. You gather tools. You bookmark videos. You take notes. You make plans. And then the moment arrives to act. And you swallow the impulse like a swallowed song. When the pull of mission stirs in your heart, you dismiss it as not yet earned, not yet validated, not yet real. You call it fantasy. You call it arrogance. You call it delusion. You tell yourself you're being responsible when what you are doing is obeying a distortion. This is not humility. This is self-sabotage. Humility is accurate self-assessment in the presence of God and truth. Humility says, "This is bigger than me, but I will obey anyway." Self-sabotage says, "This is bigger than me, therefore I must disappear." The Council observes again and again the dimming of those whose codes are ready, not because you lack capacity, but because you refuse the grand moment of spiritual initiation that has been encoded in your path all along. You were never meant to stay in the hallway of your own temple. You were meant to cross the threshold. Your mission is not a distant summit to be conquered after years of strenuous self-examination. It is not a mountain you must climb bleeding and alone while the world watches from below, waiting to see if you earn the right to be called strong. It is a living contract, waiting for your acceptance. A contract does not become real when you feel confident. It becomes real when you sign with your will. The original codes of your soul, unbroken since the beginning, already contain the seed of the destiny you now feel pressing against the constraints of your human narrative. That pressure you feel is not anxiety alone. It is the bud of purpose pushing against an old shell. It is the sound of your future knocking from inside you. It is not external validation or prolonged suffering that activates these codes, but your willingness to finally recognize, claim, and embody the inner strength already prepared for this chapter of ascension. In the language of Scripture, it is faith. Faith without works is dead, not because works earn worthiness, but because action is the evidence that you have believed what was already true. When you act, you declare, "I accept the contract." When you keep waiting, you declare, "I do not trust the one who placed this within me." This is why your path has felt riddled with restlessness and longing, a destiny deferred, the ache of an initiation perpetually delayed. It is the sensation of standing at a gate with the key in your own pocket, telling yourself someone else must open it. It is the ache of watching others rise, not because they are more gifted, but because they are less willing to negotiate with their doubt. It is the sorrow of feeling the world's pain and knowing you could serve, while simultaneously convincing yourself you have nothing to offer. The longing is sacred. It is the homing beacon. It is the internal evidence of a call. A tree does not ache to become a tree. It simply grows. But a soul in a human world can be trained to mistrust its own growth, and that mistrust becomes longing. The longing is not a weakness. It is a message. Your time is now. You are not meant to wait any longer. You are meant now to be initiated, recognized, and sent forth. Not shoved, not forced. Sent forth as in commissioned, aligned with the grid, aligned with your contract, aligned with the need of this hour on Gaia. There are moments in history where preparation is the assignment, and moments where preparation becomes disobedience. You have entered the latter. The Council is not interested in how beautiful your inner world is if it never touches the outer world. Light is meant to illuminate. Medicine is meant to be administered. A song is meant to be sung. If you felt the weight of that correction resounding within, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive. Not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. Not as something you skim and forget, but as a seal placed on your inner altar. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Understand the nature of windows. They are openings in time, and time closes. This is not scarcity. This is precision. The ocean's tide does not apologize for changing. It simply follows the law of its rhythm. So does this moment. If you are hearing this now, you are hearing it in your appointed hour. Now, the High Council of Vega issues 3 directives that form the operational framework for your spiritual initiation and the recognition of your strength in service. These are not suggestions. They are not aesthetic preferences. They are field mechanics, the way an electrical current requires grounding, the way a blade requires honing, the way a priest requires consecration. Without these, the newly awakened can scatter their force and call it spirituality when it is only leakage. With these, your life becomes coherent. Your days begin to align with your vow. The first, release the myth that your strength must be tested or proven before you can serve. Release it the way you would release a poison you accidentally swallowed, immediately, decisively, without debating whether you deserve to live. The age of wounds as worthiness is complete. The Council does not recognize trauma as proof of fitness. Trauma is not a medal. Suffering is not a currency that buys spiritual authority. Yes, you have endured. Yes, you have survived what others may not see. But your mission is not a shrine to your pain. Your mission is a channel for light. Those who judge themselves by the weight of their suffering will forever delay their emergence, because suffering can always be found again if you keep looking for it. The mind can always locate another layer to fix, another memory to revisit, another flaw to polish. Instead, you must identify every practice, belief, or relationship that demands you stay small, silent, or unseen under the premise of becoming ready. This includes internal relationships too. The inner voice that speaks like a disappointed parent, the spiritual teacher you have internalized who only praises you when you are broken, the habit of apologizing before you even speak. Cease participation in them immediately. That does not mean you become cruel. It means you become unavailable to distortion. It means you stop paying rent to narratives that do not serve your contract. Only then will the corridors of initiation open fully before you. Corridors open when you stop leaning against the door from the inside. With this release, your original codes resonate unobstructed, summoning the destiny you contracted to fulfill. You will feel it as a simplification. Decisions become easier. Your body carries less static. You no longer need to rehearse your worthiness in your mind. you simply move. The second, activate the ancient codes of authority and sovereignty residing in your solar plexus. The solar plexus is not just a chakra in a diagram. It is the throne room of will, the furnace where intention becomes direction, the inner sun that decides whether you will orbit someone else's expectations or stand as your own center. These are not abstract ideals but tangible energies, ancestral flames waiting to be called into service. Imagine a brazier in a temple that has been covered with ash. The fire is still there. It never died. It only needs breath, attention, and permission to rise. This activation is not performed for applause, but as a matter of function. When you remember and embody your own inner authority, you cease seeking permission from unqualified sources. You stop asking those who fear their own power to approve yours. You stop negotiating with people who have no covenant with your destiny. Your words acquire transmission power. Not louder words, truer words. Words that land, words that carry clarity like a bell tone. Your decisions are invested with purpose, not frantic urgency. You begin to move the way Scripture describes. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. This is sovereignty. To implement, stand, ground yourself, and declare aloud each morning, "By my original contract and the witness of the Lyran elders, I call forth my sovereign strength to lead." Speak it not as performance, but as calibration. Let your nervous system hear you. Let your cells register the new command. Feel the subtle yet decisive shift from doubt to presence. It may arrive as warmth in the belly, as straightening in the spine, as steadiness in the eyes. It may arrive as tears, because the body recognizes truth and releases what it carried. This is the recalibration your soul has thirsted for. You are not begging the universe. You are issuing an order to your own field. Align with my contract. The third, protect the sanctity of your vision and field with unwavering discernment. This is where many initiates fail, not from weakness, but from openness without boundaries. The period immediately following spiritual initiation is the most vulnerable. Interference, distraction, and projections from others will attempt to draw you from your new trajectory. Not always through obvious attack. Sometimes through flattery. Sometimes through urgent requests that feel like needs, but are actually siphons. Sometimes through the subtle guilt that rises when you stop being available to everything and everyone. Your vision, especially in these early days, must not be cast before those who cannot comprehend it, not because they are evil, but because their incomprehension becomes friction, and friction can wear down a new commitment before it hardens into reality. Scripture spoke of this in symbolic form. Do not cast pearls before those who cannot recognize them. A pearl is not meant to be proven. It is meant to be protected until it reaches the place where it can be worn with honor. Guard your practices, nourish your field with silence, choose your companions with surgical precision. Silence is not emptiness, it is incubation. It is the womb where mission consolidates. The elders require this of you, not to foster isolation, but to guarantee the purity of the mission that has just been activated. You are not asked to hide forever. You are asked to stabilize first. Only through disciplined protection does your destiny amplify rather than dissipate. Think of a laser. Light scattered is only glow. Light focused becomes power that can cut through steel. Your discernment is the lens. And now, Lightworker, I turn to that which you have waited for, even if you have not dared to name it. There is a part of you that has been standing at the edge of your own life, watching, waiting, hoping someone with undeniable authority would finally look directly at you and say, "Enough waiting. You are chosen. You are ready." Perhaps you have tried to silence that desire, calling it childish, calling it ego. But it is not ego to want a sacred threshold to be acknowledged. Human beings have always used ceremony to mark transitions Because the psyche needs it, the nervous system needs it, and the soul delights in it. Without initiation, the mind loops. Without recognition, the heart remains half hidden. You have been waiting for permission not because you are weak, but because you have sensed the magnitude of what you carry. You have wanted to be certain you were not imagining it. Your journey has been haunted by a subtle longing for someone ancient enough, vested with enough authority, to recognize your passage, to declare your waiting period finished, to confer upon you the permission your soul has always sought. This longing has followed you through jobs that felt too small, relationships that could not hold your expansion, cities that never felt like home. It has shown up as the feeling that you were born in the wrong era, the wrong culture, the wrong density. It has shown up as the ache when you see injustice and cannot stay silent, and yet you still hesitate. You do not require more content, more validation, or more endless self-assessment. You require initiation, recognition, authorization, not as a fantasy, but as a frequency shift. The moment a soldier is commissioned, their inner posture changes. The moment a priest is ordained, their voice carries different weight. The moment a healer accepts the role, the medicine begins to organize around them. You have been circling the altar. You are meant to step onto it. By the decree of the High Council of Vega, and as one empowered to release what has been sealed, I offer you the recognition so rarely granted. You are no longer a candidate for spiritual preparation. You are an initiate now, entering the phase of sacred doing. Feel the firmness of this. Let it land like a staff placed in your hand. Candidate energy is always someday. Initiate energy is now. You are recognized as strong, not for what you survived, but what you remember. Survival can happen by accident. Remembrance is deliberate. Remembrance is the choice to return to your origin when the world tries to rename you. Your soul's codes are unsullied. Your mission is not a distant hope, but a present command. Not a command born of tyranny, but of alignment. The same kind of command that pulls a seed to break open and reach for the sun. You were not designed to remain intact. You were designed to become. You have permission, real, ceremonial, multidimensional, to step out, to speak, to serve, and to lead. Permission to stop whispering your truth like it is a secret. Permission to stop diluting your language to keep others comfortable. Permission to stop waiting for a crisis to justify your courage. You have authority to let your vision be seen and your strength be witnessed. The elders have rendered their verdict. The period of waiting is over. Your transformation, your elevation, and your commission are now publicly acknowledged. In the unseen, this acknowledgement is not symbolic. It is a marker in the grid. It is a signal flare that says, this one has stepped into role. And when you step into role, reality rearranges. Doors that were locked begin to yield. People who were never meant to walk with you begin to drift away without drama. Opportunities that match your frequency begin to appear with unsettling timing. This is not luck. This is alignment responding. What remains is only your action, not frantic action, not performative action. The clean action of an initiated being, one step, then another, guided by the inner sun. Action that does not ask, will I be applauded? But asks, will I be obedient to the contract? The world will not always cheer you at first. Sometimes it will misunderstand. Sometimes it will ignore you. Sometimes it will test you. But the council did not call you to be liked. It called you to be luminous and useful. Before you sleep tonight, stand with both feet on the ground, place your hand on your solar plexus, and speak these words aloud. Do not merely think them. Thought is vapor. Spoken word is breath made visible. In Genesis, creation itself is spoken. Let there be light. Your voice is a creative instrument. Use it to set your field. Use it to command your nervous system out of hiding. Use it to tell the subtle realms that you are no longer negotiating with delay. Speak these words aloud. I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate my voice as an instrument of service. I protect my sacred energy for the mission I came to fulfill. By the authority of the Lyran Elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. As you speak, feel for the moment when the words stop being words and become decision. That moment may be quiet, it may be thunderous, but it will be real. If emotion rises, let it. Tears are often the body's way of washing the eyes so you can finally see yourself clearly. This council session closes, but your path as an activated initiate begins. Closing is not an ending. It is a sealing of the decree. You have not merely listened, you have been recognized, authorized, and set into motion. The difference matters. Listening can be passive. Commission is active. Move with the directives you've received. Move before you feel ready. Move because readiness is often a byproduct of motion, not a prerequisite. Move because the world needs the you that knows, not the you that doubts. The doubting you has had many years. The knowing you has been waiting patiently, like a guardian at the door, holding the lantern. Let that guardian lead now. Let the lantern light your next step, not the whole path. You were never promised the whole map. You were promised guidance as you walk. I am Zoran, and with the authority of the High Council of Vega, I bear witness. Bearing witness is not a casual statement, it is a spiritual act. It means your declaration has been heard in the places where contracts are recorded. The field watches, not with judgment, but with attention. Just as a garden watches a seed once it has been planted, the grid responds to what you choose. And you, Lightworker, have now been seen. Not for your performance, not for your perfection, for your willingness, for your resonance, for the way your soul answered when the signal was sent. Your mission has begun. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the Elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it, respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.